From Kern Government Television, welcome to this week's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting, originating from the County Administrative Center located at 1115 Truxton Avenue, Bakersfield, California. Kern County's vision is to create and maintain a customer-centered county government designed to garner the confidence, support, and trust of the people we serve. Today's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting will convene momentarily.
Good morning. Welcome to the Tuesday, October 8th, 2019, regular meeting of the Board of Supervisors. Board to reconvene. The first item is roll call.
Supervisor Gleason.
Here.
Supervisor Scrivener.
Here.
Supervisor Maggard.
Here.
Supervisor Couch.
Here.
Supervisor Perez.
Here.
Thank you. The next item is the salute to the flag. It'll be led this morning by Supervisor Scrivener, and at the conclusion of that, please remain standing for a moment of prayer, silence, or meditation, whichever you prefer.
Please stand. Place your hand over your heart and pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, the next item is the pet of the week. I'm going to invite Nick Cullen. He's the Director of Animal Services to come out and introduce us to Max.
Good morning.
Morning, Nick.
Morning. Nick Cohen, Director of Kern County Animal Services.
Morning, Max.
Good morning, Max. This is Max. Max is our Board of the Supervisors Pet of the Week. Max is about a 4-year-old terrier mix. He is available for adoption tomorrow morning. He's good with other dogs his size. He's really good with kids. He looks a little shy this morning, but it's the lights and the cameras and everything. But like I said, he'll be available for tomorrow morning. His adoption fee is just $85.
What's that, Max? East Bakersfield? You like East Bakersfield?
Actually, surprisingly, that is where he came from East Bakersfield.
Okay, now what was the dog's name last week?
We didn't have one last week.
Not last week before.
It was
when
the
we were
week before.
Our last.
And his name escapes me.
But that was our 6th or our 7th.
It was our 7th. This is our 8th.
And that one got adopted literally out in the rotunda. He hasn't even left the building.
Yeah, one of our library employees ended up adopting it.
So our new goal is to have one adopted in the board chambers because we're maybe up here on the dais. Anyway.
There's a lot of fantastic things happening. Our county administrative officer expressed some interest in adopting an animal. There's rescues all over that are pulling animals. Supervisor Gleason mentioned to me this morning the great work of a rescue called SOS Dog Rescue in his district that's doing wonderful things for veterans, and a lot of good things happening in Kern County, especially for Max. So he's going to get adopted.
Yeah, he will. So nice to meet you, Max. Thank you.
Thank
Nick,
you.
good to see you.
That's where he came from.
Nick, did he come from East Bakersfield? Is that what you said? Is that where they found him? See?
Yeah.
Karma. Okay, the next item is the consent agenda. All items listed with a CA or a C above the item number are considered to be routine and non-controversial by county staff. We can act on those all in one motion. If any of you would like to make a comment about any of the items I'm about to tell you about or ask for separate consideration, now is the time to do that. There's 41 items on the agenda this morning. Items 1, 3, 4, and 17 are not on the consent agenda. Everything else is on the consent agenda. So is there anyone here that would like to make a comment on any of the items on the consent agenda? Seeing none, I'll return to the board for a motion on the consent calendar.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please cast your votes.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Thank you. That takes us back to page 2, item 1, which is, or that item proclaims November and December 2019 as Kern County Cares Canned Food Drive months in Kern County, and this proclamation will be presented by Supervisor Perez.
Thank you, Chairman. Motion on proclamation.
Second.
Please cast your votes.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Good to see you, Dina. Good to see you. Okay, good morning, Chairman and fellow members of the board. This morning, we are proclaiming November and December, both months, 2019, as Kern County Cares Canned Food Drive months. In partnership with the Golden Empire Gleaners, Kern County employees help collect non-perishable foods for the county's children and families who are in need. As we know, almost 43% of children in Kern County live in families with income below the poverty line. That's almost half. The Gleaners' mission is to help alleviate hunger, and they provide food for 18,000 people of all ages every month. I am proud that last year, over 20 of our county departments participated in the annual drive and raised over $20,000 and donated over 40,000 pounds of food. Employees can contribute non-perishable foods or money, and I have no doubt that we will be able to surpass what we did last year, and then some. It's a generous county, as you know. This morning, I joined my colleagues in making this proclamation of Kern County Cares Canned Food Drive in Kern County and recognize the Department of Human Services for leading the efforts to help alleviate hunger in Kern County. Dina, thank you for all the fabulous humanitarian efforts you engage in. You'll tell us more about who you have today here with you and what you're up to. And we like to hear about it. So the floor is yours.
Great, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Supervisor Perez, and thank you, Chairman Couch and members of the board. I'm Dina Murphy, your Director for Human Services, and I've also had the privilege of being your chair for the food campaign for the past 5 years. And I do say it's a privilege because we have such a generous county family, and I'll talk just a little bit more about that as we go. I'm joined today by Glenn Efron, who's the Executive Director of Gleaners, and it's very inspiring, you know, to go and do the tour and see the massive amounts of food that are being moved through the process and getting to the people in need with just 2 permanent staff. 2 permanent staff, everybody else volunteers or they work for food, and I think that's incredible. This year, we're going to officially kick off on Monday, November 4th, and we'll go through Friday, December 27th. And the Gleaners has agreed to count all of the food and poundage that has been donated from January of this year all the way through December. The Gleaners is going to host a kickoff on the 4th, so I'm going to be reaching out to all the department heads, and gosh, if I don't hear right back, I'll call one of you, and you can call them and help me out, because we're going to have a really big goal this year. As Supervisor mentioned, there's 20,000 pounds of food and 40,000 pounds of food, 20,000 in monetary donations. That cumulative amount that was donated last year was 83,230 pounds, so we beat our 68,000 pound goal, which is incredible. Now, this year, our goal is going to be 100,000 pounds, and I know we can just crush it. I just know we can. In addition to all of our efforts, I want to recognize Doug Landon, who initiated and has continued to coordinate the golf tournament. And last year, if my memory serves me, and it's serving me less all the time, he had accumulated over $8,000 in contributions from that golf tournament. So he continues to coordinate that for you. And if you'll recall, he is a retired department head. He also voluntarily drives all week long and serves senior SACs. So he has continued to serve this community even in his retirement, and I think that's admirable, and I think it speaks to the kind of heart that our county employees have for this entire county. So I'd like to thank you again for this opportunity, and I want to welcome Glenn up to talk about his staff and his accomplishments. But really, the key to this contribution is that people are so generous during the holidays, but there is a point in time from the holiday period all the way through about March to April that they really would struggle without a successful campaign on our part. So thank you again for bringing attention to this, for recognizing it, and for allowing me the honor of getting to lead it again this year. And I do just lead it because we've got incredible coordinators who really get in and do the nuts and bolts work. Thanks. Glenn?
Thank you. Morning, Mr. Chairman, Board. How's everyone doing? I'm really excited about this year. As she mentioned, we've raised our goal to 100,000 pounds total combined, and I'm excited, and it's very robust. I think we're going to get there. Unfortunately, my business is growing, Every year, we seem to increase the amount of distribution that we provide, but the need is still there, and the need's great. What we do is pretty simple. It's not very sexy. All we do is find people that need food, and we try to get it to them. But through campaigns such as Kern County Cares and other things we do throughout the year, we're able to keep our head above water and keep serving the fine folks of Kern County. And thank you to everyone involved, and we're looking forward to a fabulous, robust campaign.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
what you do, Glenn.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dina.
Okay, here we go. Thank you again.
Thanks for God's work out there. Thank you, brother. Keep it up.
Thank you. The next item is public statements. This portion of the meeting is reserved for persons to address the board on any matter not on the agenda but is under the jurisdiction of the board. Is there anyone here that would like to make a public presentation? Seeing none, I'll move on to board member, I'm sorry. Supervisor, oh, Mr. Crawford, how are you? I didn't see you there.
Good morning, Chairman and supervisors and public officials. I'm O.C. Crawford with the True Love Tribe, and I brought my better half from me, made in Japan. Her support seems to make things go a lot better. Anyway, Saturday the 28th, we had an awards banquet where we awarded various exemplary citizens throughout the county. And we had some mayors in attendance to present the awards. And the other part was we awarded the Kern County Board of Supervisors with the plaque. Okay, Honeybee. So I want to, for the public's sake, I want to read what we, the True Love Tribe, we represent the city and the county because we love our city, we love our county, and we love our supervisors, and we want to show it. So I'd like to read what it says. I don't know where you can see it better. Oh, I'm not on TV. Okay, let me read it. This one happens to be for Mr. Zach Scribner. Although we know that you all are very distinct and distinguished in your character and personalities, you're unique, but on some level, you're all together because you're people of integrity, and you do the best you can with the knowledge you have, and that's all anyone can ask. So we want to present this to you. Okay, in the middle is a little heart, and it says True Love Tribes. Then it says, presented to Mr. Zach Scribner, Kern County Board of Supervisors, 2nd District. We honor you for your integrity and your consistently wise leadership of the affairs of Kern County. Thank you for a job well done. September 2019. Okay, thank you. Thank you. So I can leave this?
Yes, please. It was a very nice event, by the way. I was fortunate to be able to make it for a little while, and you guys do a good job with that.
Thank you.
You bet. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Yes,
Don't
ma'am.
make me say my name today. Good morning, y'all. Thank you all for your service. Mr. McLeeson, you're gonna be missed. In more than one way. It has been an honor to serve all you people. I hate to see you leave. I wish you would stay. Hopefully the next step for you will be Congress. God's great. Beer is food. I don't care what anyone says about that. And shopping carts are really not that sexy. Does anyone around here have a tractor? And do they match their boots? Skateboarding is not a crime unless you're doing stupid crap. The crime is not having one. The lake and Mojave and Cal City Need skate parks and boys and girls clubs so the kids have crap to do. That should be our next mission. Period. End of story on that. The music scene is out of control right now, but it's a good one. We need to teach people, in my opinion, how to learn. We need to teach the children how to learn how to evacuate systems in the event of an emergency. Strike that from the record. Cancer sucks. This is Cancer Awareness Month. Thanks everyone for your hard work out here. JC's Place needs to be JC's Place down there on Chester needs to have a plaque up there to be a historical monument. And I really fucking miss Abernathy, but in closing, I would like to say I appreciate your service.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Any other public statements today? I know Supervisor Maggard has an item.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to ask Matt Constantine to come forward and give us an update about these vaping illness incidents we've had, and it appears to have taken hold in Kern County. Mr. Constantine, who's for the public's purposes, the Director of Public Health for the county, could you please give us a report on how that's going?
Sure. Thank you, sir. In June, as you've seen in the media, the CDC and the California Department of Public Health started to investigate a number of unusual and severe pulmonary injuries that we initially didn't know what the cause was. Both organizations, the CDC and the state, and now have subsequently identified vaping as the common risk factor. In fact, the California Department of Public Health is taking the rather unusual step and has now said everybody needs to refrain from vaping until we can understand the actual cause of what is occurring. And for those of you that aren't as familiar, vaping is inhaling an aerosol from an electronic cigarette device that heats a liquid up that oftentimes contains nicotine or marijuana or other substances. The shapes and the sizes of these electronic devices are oftentimes masked to look like something else. So they look like USB flash drives, even cell phones, or even highlighters, like highlighters that you would highlight something on a piece of paper. They're designed to mask their true purpose. Currently, in the United States, there's over 1,000 cases of this pulmonary injury associated with vaping, and there have been 18 deaths directly attributed to this actual injury. In California, there's 104 cases and 2 deaths, and as Supervisor Maggard indicated, it has now touched Kern County. We have 3 hospitalizations directly associated with this disease and vaping. I will let you know, too, there is multiple other cases under investigation now that we think likely will be attributed to vaping. Overall, the data from the CDC says 70% of the cases are male, 80% of the patients are under 35 years old, 16% are under the age of 18, and 21% are between 18 and 20. So this is affecting our younger generations more than others. Every one of these patients have indicated that they have used an electronic cigarette, an e-cig, or vaping products. Most patients reported a history of also using THC or marijuana as part of the components that they inhaled. The symptoms are dramatic. They vary from chest pain and shortness of breath to diarrhea, headaches, nausea, vomiting, coughing, shortness of breath, and again, in a number of cases, have actually led to the patient's death. We still do not know all of the long-term effects. So the issue at hand is we want to really focus on is parents should be aware of the risks that it involves children. They should be aware of these electronic devices, these e-cigs and the vaping devices. In fact, there's more than 15,000 different flavors of this liquid that you inhale, and they're oftentimes sweet. They don't smell or taste like tobacco. They taste like mango or bubble gum or mint, and they're being marketed towards young children and especially young girls. And the last comment here is the liquid itself is not regulated. In fact, the FDA has taken the stance where they need to acquire samples. So they've acquired 120 samples of these liquids to start testing to actually even see what's in it. This is not water vapor, which oftentimes is promoted. On November 5th, we'll be back with a host of options for your board to consider to try to address this issue, as we believe this is a public health threat in our community.
Thank you, Mr. Constantine. I have just a couple questions for
Please.
you. Are there any commonalities amongst the three circumstances we have in Kern County?
Beyond the fact that they all were using an electronic cigarette or device, that is the only common factor yet, but we still don't know.
Are there any minors amongst the three?
Yes.
Can we identify where that minor obtained their vaping device from?
So the state has asked us to try to obtain any of the chemical that was used or the device that was used, and even biological samples. We are still doing that. So we don't have an answer for you, but we hope to soon.
I hope you can give us more information about that on November 5th when you come back, and I hope that we have this teed up for our agenda in a way that we can take action and move forward with something definitive to protect the residents of Kern County.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, thank you for that.
You bet. I have three others that would like to speak. Is it all on this item? Mick? No? Okay. Supervisor Perez, you're up next.
Thank you. I was going to ask if others had it, so thank you, Chairman. I just wanted to tell my colleagues and the public that I had an opportunity yesterday to visit for medical care, the ortho clinic at 1111 Columbus, which is our own Kern Medicals. And I was totally stunned, one, by the aesthetics of the place. It's beautiful and modern and updated. And the staff was so extraordinary. I mean, I'm still kind of blown away by what I saw, the level of professionalism, efficiency, and what is clearly a booming business, if you will. And so I am just so grateful to Russell Judd, the changes that he has made, implemented. Of course, the team is broad and includes many people, but boy, I am grateful, I am amazed, and very impressed. I wanted to share that with my colleagues and the public. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Supervisor Scribner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think that all of us on the dais, and it sounds like other elected officials throughout the county were shocked by the unexpected announcement that the Federal Bureau of Prisons is wanting to close the Taft Correctional Institution on January 31st, 2020. I think that this is going to have significant impacts on the community of Taft and surrounding areas. Looks like about 350 some odd correctional staff and 2,000 inmates will be impacted by this decision. And so I'd like to make a referral to staff to send a letter to the Federal Bureau of Prisons reflecting a lot of the questions that were asked by Congressman McCarthy recently and some other requests. First of all, to suspend any actions related to the deactivation of TCI for the time being until some questions are answered. There seems to be more questions than answers right now, unfortunately. Also to provide a thorough briefing for the community on the decision to deactivate TCI. And I'm going to go ahead and forward that letter that the congressman wrote. So staff has that to work with as a framework, but I'd like this to be on the October 15th agenda for this board to adopt a letter to the Bureau of Prisons signed by our chairman, Supervisor Couch. Thank you. That's a motion.
Second.
You have a motion and a second. Please cast your votes.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Thank you. Supervisor Gleason.
On a lighter note, people here are well aware of the fact that I am a diehard New England Patriots fan. And truly remarkable team that has recently made a decision to aspire to even greater levels of greatness by reaching deep within District 1 to find a backup quarterback for Tom Brady, by a gentleman by the name of Cody Kessler. And I want to publicly known that, Cody, if you need any help for a couple game tickets, I would be glad to support and give you advice on how to integrate. So District 1 and the New England Patriots are inextricably linked. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor. Any other public statements this morning? Okay, I'm going to move on to board member announcements and reports. Supervisor Maggard, do you have one there as well?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for indulging me twice this morning. An important decision that was made by the district court has caused, it's called the Boise decision, and it has caused communities to be constrained in their ability to manage homeless people on the street and how quickly they can move them along and into facilities and just to minimize the public disruption that results from them. So the County of Los Angeles and the City of San Diego are appealing that decision, and I would like Kern County to consider whether or not we might join them in their effort to appeal that Boise decision. So, Ms. Rezan, I'd like to refer to you this morning. Could you come back to us, brief us on that quickly so that we can make a decision, because as this appeal progresses, time is of the essence that we join them if that's the case. And I would urge us to strongly consider joining Los Angeles County and the City of San Diego in the appeal of that decision, because it will help, if they're successful in appealing and overturning that decision, it will help us be much more nimble and effective in managing the homeless crisis that was before us. Is that something you could do for us, Ms. Rezan?
Yes, Supervisor Maggard, through the chair. Actually, I'll get the deadlines and the timeline and be able to report back at the beginning of this afternoon session.
Very good.
If that would work.
That would be great. Thank you very much. And if it is something that is, you know, sometimes there are things that are so imminent that if they aren't on our agenda, we can place it on the agenda. Could you make us aware if that's the case with this one, just in case that deadline is that imminent?
Will do.
Thank you very much.
Supervisor Perez.
Thank you. The Boise decision is a big decision for counties in California because it ultimately says if a jurisdiction does not have bed space for the homeless, you cannot forcibly remove people. It's incredibly, wildly complex. CSAC actually we just voted to join and file an amicus brief to the U.S. Supreme Court, who will be hearing that decision. I believe they'll make a decision maybe January. So CSAC is really tuned in on this issue. We have been obsessing about it for the last couple of months. So I would encourage you to contact County Counsel there, Bruce Goldstein, who's the head of our County Counsel Association, and they are drafting an amicus as we speak to do what Supervisor Maggard is saying, at least in part, try to expand the toolbox of opportunities for that counties have to deal with populations who frankly refuse to go to a shelter. We have to, of course, have the shelter space in order to make such a decision. Those are the details that are being worked out. But CSAC is joining and filing an amicus curiae brief, and so certainly that would give you, I think, what you need.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you. Mr. Constantine, could I get you to come up for a second? I've got two items. On the consent calendar, we just approved item 25, I believe it was, which is recommended action was a receive and file. But it was a report on the Know Your Numbers program that you all have developed, and I wanted you to give you an opportunity just for a moment to give us a little update on that.
I'm going to let Bryn
Okay, thank you. Good morning, Bryn.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Bryn Kerrigan, your Assistant Director of Kern County Public Health. In an attempt to address obesity and chronic disease in Kern County, the department developed a program called Know Your Numbers, providing education on the importance of health numbers such as body mass index, blood pressure, blood sugar, and cholesterol. Late last year, this program was piloted in Buttonwillow, and almost 60% of participants saw an overall improvement in their health numbers following our interventions. Because of the success of the Buttonwillow pilot program, the department recently hired a full-time health and fitness instructor. With her addition to our team, we have been able to soft launch the program in both Arvin at St. John's Valley of Faith Church and in Lamont at the David Head Center. At the launch in Arvin and Lamont this past week, we provided health screenings to 36 people and had the first session of fitness and nutrition classes within these communities. The fitness and nutrition classes are developed to teach participants how fitness and nutrition positively impact health numbers and how to eat better and work out within their own homes. The department is also working on an app to assist participants with tracking their healthy eating and fitness journey and to assist with communication with participants after the 6-week program concludes. Starting in January 2020, the 6-week Know Your Numbers program will fully be launched county-wide and will be offered in 4 communities concurrently. Mr. Chairman, this concludes my update.
Thank you very much. Could you get me the schedule for that 6 weeks, the days there in each community and the times?
Absolutely.
All right, that'd be great. I appreciate your work on that. Sure. I have one other item, and it's a referral to the CAO's office, and my staff wrote it up for me so I could read it. I'll just turn it in, but I'll read it into the record as well. I think it's an issue for our human resources division within the CAO's office. It's my understanding that there's a situation in the fire department that requires a female firefighter, of which I believe we only have one, to potentially lose seniority if she goes out on family care leave due to pregnancy or delivery. And it just seems to me that that probably should not be the case. So I want to refer that to you, Mr. Alsup, and ask if you could look into that and report back to us with your recommended course of action. All right. Thank you very much. I don't see any other lights on, so we will go on to item 17, which is the Education and Workforce Development presentation, and it's on Taft College, which I hear is a very good presentation according to our clerk of the board. Good morning.
Good morning, Chairman Couch, members of the board. On August 22nd, 2017, your board requested monthly presentations on efforts in Kern County to prepare our workforce to compete in a global economy. This month's presentation will highlight some of the unique workforce development programs offered at Taft College. Taft College offers 43 degree and 30 certificate programs, including administration of justice, dental hygiene, early childhood education, energy technology, engineering, industrial health and safety, and of course, many, many more options. At this time, I'd like to ask Deb Daniels from Taft College to come forward to make the presentation.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, and I'd like to thank Supervisor Scribner and Chairman Couch for their great support of Kern College and our West Kern Community College District, and it's a pleasure to be here and talk about my favorite topic, Taft College. So first of all, let me set the stage and tell you a little bit about the community college system in the state of California. Of course, this is a picture of our great college. Taft College is one of the 73 districts in the state of California, comprising 115 community colleges. California has the largest community college system in the United States, and we serve over 2 million students a year. Now, Taft College is, as I said, one of the 73 districts, so obviously there are districts that have multiple colleges, like our neighbor Kern Community College District, as you're probably very familiar with, has 3 colleges and 1 district office, and we are a single college district. When a college is a multi-college district, they have a chancellor as their main administrator, and when you're a single college district like us, you have a superintendent president, which is my role. This is a representation of our West Kern Community College District within the county. We're a little shy of 800 square miles, and we primarily serve the municipalities of Taft, Maricopa, and McKittrick. In our county, in our district rather, these are the earnings on educational levels. Every community college district has different amounts. High school diploma, if you earn a high school diploma, you make approximately $35,000 a year. An associate degree, we're an associate degree granting institution, you'll earn approximately $46,000 a year, which is an increase of over $1 million over the lifetime of a graduate. So the return on investment is huge. Our gross regional product, or the amount spent on employment and non-employment in the region, in our district, is $1.8 billion, which supports a little over 12,000 jobs in that 800 square mile district. Taft College has a little over 12,000 students every year, and our payroll and benefits gives us over $28 million in benefits to the region. We have 286 permanent full-time and part-time employees and another 100 part-time employees in our district. And that with $1.9 million in tuition revenue, all going toward the district impact. We have 378 associate degrees granted in 2018, which means 378 people will make over $1 million in their lifetime, more than they would have otherwise. Altogether, our impact to our district is over $42 million, which is 2.4% of the gross regional product, supporting 422 total jobs in our region, which means there are benefits to our area. So for every dollar a student spends in getting their education at Taft College, they get a return of $5, which is a 17% return on investment, which is, you know, pretty good in today's economy. Our return for our taxpayers, for every dollar a taxpayer spends on education at Taft College, they receive $1.3 back. And the benefit to society, for every dollar society spends, they receive $8.6 back, because an educated member of society uses less of the resources. They're less likely to commit a crime, they're less likely to be unemployed, and they are healthier together. Now, a little bit about the programs that we have at Taft College. This is one of our signature programs, Transition to Independent Living program, serves developmental and intellectual students with disabilities. And this is unique for community colleges. It's the only one in the United States that has this type of program. So we serve a very unique niche in the population. We have 52 students in this program, 26 first year and 26 second year. And in this program, they learn to live independently. They learn how to it's a residential program, so they learn how to take care of their living quarters. They learn how to cook for themselves. They learn how to do their laundry, all those things that if you have children like I do, you wish they all knew how to do. And they also learn work skills. They learn those soft skills that our employers say that our workforce needs. And so in the second year, then our students go from our dorm facilities to residents in the area. And they all have jobs, they earn a paycheck, and they are taught how to balance their paycheck, pay their bills, and go to work every day. Some of our students also are capable of attending college classes, and we've had graduates earn their associate's degree as well. Taft College, as you heard earlier, offers 43 degrees and 30 certificates as a whole. And a big portion of our degrees are in career and technical education, our workforce development, which is huge for our area and a necessity and a push, one of the goals of our state. And so in 2022, there'll be 50,000 career and technical jobs available in the state of California, and about a third of them are new jobs, jobs that we don't know anything about today, but they'll be on the market in a few years. And so as a career and technical education facility, we have to be very nimble and change with the change a tide of new jobs that come along. So that's a big portion of what we do at Taft College. Our career, specific to our career and technical programs, we have 4 associate degree and transfers, and we have 15 local degrees. Some of our degrees in career and technical education are criminal justice, early childhood education, and one of our signature programs is the dental hygiene program. We're one of the only providers of dental hygiene education in the Central Valley. In 2018, our program won the State Chancellor's Office Gold Star Award. And the criteria for winning that is that at least 70% of students attained regional living wage upon graduation. The students experienced an increase in income of at least 50%, and at least 90% of students secure employment when they leave the field. So here are the statistics for our program. The Taft College Dental Hygiene Program had a 94% increase in living wage, a 264% increase in income, and 100% employment in the field. So we're very proud of our dental hygiene program, and we continue to provide the dental hygienists for our region and across the state. This is a picture of our graduation ceremony this past spring, and you can see we have a lot of students graduating, and the stands are filled with parents. This is my favorite day of the year. It's just uplifting to feel the energy of all the graduates and their families there, that they've completed this goal. It could be their life goal, something they never thought that they would do. In 2016-17, we graduated 655 students. In 17-18, 661. And in 2018-19, we graduated 727 graduates. And so we're very proud to help serve the state goal of increasing our graduation numbers for the state of California. At this point, I'd like to mention that Supervisor Scribner mentioned the closing of the Taft Correctional Institute. We have 94 students that attend college through TCI. They had to all drop out of their classes. Their dreams are diverted. I don't know what they'll do. 94 people that may not get back on track for their education. And we all know that education changes the recidivism rate, lowers it. And so I think that besides the devastating impact to our community, this is an impact that impacts society as well. This is a picture of our student center, and as Supervisor Scribner knows, our student center's been under construction for a very long time, and it's about a year ago, we fired our construction company, and we've been in negotiation with the insurance company to continue the progress. And it's my pleasure to report that we have recently hired a new construction company to finish at Colombo Construction. We're very proud to bring them on board to finish this project, and they're a Bakersfield company. We're very thrilled to have them. We hope that next time I come here, the building will be finished and I can show you an actual picture instead of this rendering of that building. Lastly, I wanted to share with you, we're very proud of the fact that we've been rated very highly by our students and our community. It's nice to have an outside agency do that for you. Niche is a company that rates higher education institutions across the United States. And annually they rate California community colleges. And this past year we rated number 5 out of 115, number 5. We are small, but we are mighty. And our students come to us because you saw our district. We have 12,000 students. You know that they don't all live in our district. But we attract students to our college because of our reputation for student success. We have small class sizes. Our professors take a personal interest in their students. And we have support services that make sure students are successful, and we're very, very proud of that. So with that, I say thank you again for allowing me to come here and do this presentation. And I would be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Thank you, Doctor. Supervisor Scribner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, first of all, Dr. Danis, thank you so much for being here. Kudos to you and to all of your staff, all the professors that provide such a, I think, a wonderful learning environment at Taft College. It's just such a beautiful campus. I enjoyed my tour of the Transition Independent Living, the dental hygiene program that both of those two things that you highlighted, in addition to a lot of other great opportunities that you provide. I want to thank Teresa Hitchcock for coordinating this. I know that when I was out visiting you, I mentioned that we'd love to have you come here. The idea behind highlighting our educational opportunities here at the Board of Supervisors is that we are one of the few venues, one of the few telecasts that goes countywide. And so much of what we've been talking about recently is the east side of Kern and the west side of Kern cross-pollinating, learning about each other and the opportunities that are provided. And so I hope that your students know that there are opportunities on the east side. And for folks that are going to community college in Bakersfield, so many kids from Southwest Bakersfield are going to Taft College because it's more accessible, the class sizes are smaller, and so that's really what this forum, I think, provides, is for us to continue to get the word out for the great opportunities that we have for all of our students, not only in the education side, but also in the workforce. And so thank you, and once again, congratulations on the tremendous job that you do.
Thank you.
Supervisor Perez.
Thank you. Well, I'm a big fan of your institution, as you know, and I have two people close to me that graduated from your programs. One who's in my office now, Christian Romo, who's a graduate of Taft College, as well as my niece, Jasmina, who is completing her BA at San Francisco State. Both of them in the state system, and both say their best college experience was at Taft. And they just gush with real appreciation and real gratitude and real authenticity about the experience they received at your college. And it's one of the ways that I know of the quality of your program. But I've talked to many people, and I'm familiar with your programs. I've been there and toured it as well, and I think very highly of what you're doing to close the skills gap and how you're thinking of many different aspects and levels of society that need to be educated at some level to move along the rung of an upward trajectory, as you know. And I think that is so clever and so appropriate for an educational institution. I was telling Zach a moment ago, I think it's got to be one of the best in the state. And then to see you're number 5 is just not surprising to me at all. I've visited lots of these institutions. I track them, and you are one of the finest. And hats off to you for focusing on the skills gap, for thinking of our population where it is and how we need to advance it by thinking proactively. I just think you are one of the finest that I've come across, period. And I'm grateful for what you do, and I like to see women in charge also, so good things happen. Thank you.
Thank you.
Supervisor Maggard.
Your zeal and passion for your favorite topic are evident in your presentation, so well done, and Taft College is well served by your leadership. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
Doctor, thanks for being here today and for your presentation. I noticed some familiar faces in here. Could you pass along my regards to your staff and your board and your students as well? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you all.
I think that takes us to the end of the morning agenda. Just need a motion to adjourn to closed session. Without objection, we're adjourned. Thank you.